How do you know when it's time to stop marketing on a social network? Obviously, if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, every social network takes more of your time and results don't come within 5 seconds. And so at some point you go, okay, have I done enough here? Is this going to continue to be a waste of my time for years and years to come? Well, I've got things to consider before you dump a social network, and we'll break them down for you right now real quick. If you want to jump ahead to any of them, we've got chapters for these, and so you can go to the description of this video and skip to anything that grabs your attention. The first one to consider: how long have you been on this social network? Now, some studies have said you should expect to wait 2 years before seeing results from social media. I don't buy into that. Our members and students and clients sometimes see results and even sales after changing strategies within a few days, but that doesn't always happen. So the first thing to consider is, how long have you been doing it? And have you been consistent? And I would honestly say you should be trying it for at least 6 months before you go, oh, this is useless. The problem is, if you keep jumping from network to network to network, you're starting over every time. And I don't mean starting over at 0 followers. I mean, you're starting over training the algorithm about your content, the lessons you've learned, all of those things. And so what happens a lot is somebody jumps to a new social network every 2 to 3 months. And who knows, maybe if they'd stayed consistent, they were about to have that breakthrough. So I kind of throw out there, look, if you can be consistent for 6 months and it's still not working, then maybe it's time to start considering a different strategy or a different network. Number 2 thing to consider before abandoning the social network that you're marketing on is, have you truly believed it's going to work for you at any point? I don't mean the beginning when you were like, yeah, let's start posting and see what happens. But there's something psychological that happens when you truly believe it's going to work. So if I'm marketing on Instagram and I just kind of like, yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's going to work. And I'm uploading a reel and the app crashes and I go, oh, so frustrating. First of all, that kind of stuff happens all the time. So you kind of have to be ready for it. But I just go, forget it. I'll just try again in a couple of days or anything like that. And I'm mad and I'm going into it with all this negative energy. I'm probably not going to succeed. But if I truly believe this is going to work, if the app crashes, I go, dang, okay, I'll try again in an hour or two when I have a break after my next meeting. Here's the analogy I like to use. Let's say that I said, hey, if you can drive over to my house right now, I'll give you $10,000. Now, let's assume you live like 10 miles away and you've got a car. So you get in your car and you go back out of the driveway and you immediately get a flat tire. You're not going to go, oh, God, I hate driving, right? You're going to go, okay, I'm going to fix the flat. I'm going to put the spare tire on. I'm going to call an Uber or a Lyft. I'm going to call a friend for a ride. I'm going to get my bike out of the garage. Like, you're going to find a way over here to get $10,000. So when you truly believe social media is going to work, each little hiccup is just that, a hiccup. But when you don't believe it's going to work, it's like this gigantic mountain and it's so frustrating. So consider your mindset as you are approaching that network before you completely abandon it. Third thing to consider before you abandon a social network for marketing your business is, have you done enough, or have you done everything you can think to make it work? Now, again, sometimes when we're jumping around different strategies, we'll continue to use Instagram as the example, and we're like, yeah, I posted the feed for like 2 weeks and I barely got any new followers. And so then I tried stories and nothing happened there. And you really want to have an understanding of how the social networks work. And we've got tons of videos about that on this channel so that you can put together a strategy that should work for you. And then make sure you give it your effort for a while, be consistent before you up and bail on the whole thing. And if you find yourself struggling to do that, and I have sometimes, it generally means that I haven't decided it's important enough to my business. And so I say this to business owners all the time: either decide social media is important and give it the effort and attention that it needs to work, or just decide it's not important, because posting and hoping generally takes up time and doesn't give you any results. And then the fifth thing to consider before you abandon a social network that you're marketing your business on is what I'm doing working on a different social network? So let's say that you are crushing it on Facebook. You've done so well. And then you're taking what you're doing and you're going over to TikTok and you're like, all right, yeah, I'm going to start posting these videos on TikTok and see what happens. And you do it consistently for 6 months, 9 months, a year, and it doesn't work. Sure, Facebook and TikTok are different platforms and there's probably ways that you could adjust it. But pretty much if something works, it works. And so in that case, yeah, you might consider abandoning TikTok at that point and doubling down back on Facebook. But if you're posting to multiple platforms and it's not working anywhere, or if you're posting to one platform and it's not working, it's not necessarily the platforms that is the problem here. It might be your messaging, your offers, the type of content you're posting, all kinds of different things. So just know, if it's working somewhere and you know you have a successful business marketing on social media, then it should work on another social network without too many adjustments. If you came into this video trying to decide whether or not you were going to abandon a specific social network, I'd love to know, Are you going to bail on it or are you going to keep going on it? Let me know in the comments. Answer honestly. Nothing's going to hurt my feelings. And I've linked up to a couple of other videos here on the screen to help you with your social media marketing as well.